welcome back to our channel. Today we are kind of doing like a life update here on how we feel about living in Arizona and some things that we may or may not miss about living in Texas. If you guys are new here, we moved from Texas to Arizona about 2 months ago. The reasoning we were coming out here was because Mitch got a job offer. He didn't end up taking it, but we loved Arizona so much, so we're like, okay, let's just pull the trigger. Everything's kind of in motion. Let's just move to Arizona. So we've been here for 2 months and we love it so much here. But before we get into the video, if you guys would please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out, lets the algorithm know that you're watching our videos, you're liking our videos, and it's more likely to show you our videos. Without further ado, we both have our coffee. Obviously, it's not a sit down without a coffee. And if you haven't noticed, we also have a new couch. We'll talk more about that in another vlog, but it's so comfy, so cute. It's like a beige white and I just love it. It goes with everything. It makes the room brighter and I'm obsessed with it. First things first, what do you miss about Texas?
So the biggest thing that I miss about Texas, like the number one thing, it's like not even anything about Texas. It's literally just the idea of living in Texas.
Yeah, I know. Is it like for you, is it like a pride thing? I feel like people who live in Texas are so prideful about living in Texas or being a Texan. And I honestly miss that so much too. I'm like, dang, I can't be like, yeah, I'm from Texas anymore. But
like its own country.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd go there and like you'd see some American flags, but you would see just as many Texas flags.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was an American flag, Texas flag was right next to it.
And it was bigger.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've seen like many Arizona flags out here. Have you?
Nope. The only two places I really see that I've been is Colorado and Texas. And
yeah.
I love living in a state like that. I think Arizona still has that like pride for their state because the feeling of like the idea of living in Texas has been replaced with the idea of living in Arizona. So it's a little easy to transition. But Texas was just like, it just feels like its own country. You know? I don't know. There's just something about it. That,
it's its own thing.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned Texas. Like if you mention Texas to a foreigner, like it's Texas. It's not the U.S. It's Texas.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was surprised that I felt that way too.
Yeah.
But I mean, also I'm not surprised because we wanted to live there so bad because we knew we would feel like that pride for living in Texas. And I mean, Texas is great. Even though we live in Arizona now and we absolutely love it here, we would probably not move back, but we still miss like that thing about Texas. Just being like, yeah, I'm from Texas.
Maybe at some point, but for right now, Arizona is where we want to be. That idea, I think I've always wanted to live in Texas. Like I had that in my head since before high school, probably. Like I always wanted to get out there. So it was just like once we got there, it was like, yeah, we live in Texas.
Right.
And I just love saying that.
I know. It's such a good feeling. But I like saying we live in Arizona now, too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just as good. But it doesn't feel like its own separate country. You know? It doesn't feel like Texas.
Yeah,
Nothing feels like Texas.
I know. It's smaller, less people.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it feels less like its own country. But a shocking thing that I have come to miss about living in Texas, do not get me wrong, I love the sunshine, I love the 100-degree days, I love the weather here in Arizona, but sometimes I find myself missing like thunderstorms or a little rain or a little cloud coverage. And we do get cloud coverage sometimes, but honestly, it's like once a week, you know, like literally the weather since we've been here, it's probably rained 1 or 2 times. It's 100 degrees, sunny every day. When we lived in Texas or anywhere else, I would check the weather app every single day. Like, oh, what's the weather going to be? I literally do not check the weather here because I know that I'm going to wake up and it's going to be sunny. Like, it's going to be the same exact weather every single day. And I guess there's like pros and cons to that. But I don't miss the cold, but I do miss like rain here and there because
there's something about a rainy day. Something about a rainy day that just gets you like, okay, it's okay to stay in.
Yeah, or like slow down. Like, totally.
And for some reason you want that, you know. when every day is nice, you're just like, oh my God, I'm missing this beautiful day. But it's like, it's going to be like that tomorrow. So
I know. So
being
that's
from
also,
Minnesota, it's just the rainy days were the days where we're like, all right, we're staying in.
right, and it wasn't like a big deal. I feel like it was that way in Texas too,
Yeah.
because we didn't ever want to drive when it was raining because people don't know how to drive,
Right.
and the roads get flooded really easily.
Yeah.
But that is what you mentioned, like one thing that I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of taking for granted. If it's nice every single day, I'm like, oh, like whatever, like I don't have to go outside and do anything or be productive because I know tomorrow's gonna be another nice day. Whereas like in Texas and Minnesota, it's like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage of the weather, like let's go outside and go for a walk because
Right.
it's nice today and it's not gonna be nice tomorrow. Like I don't feel that way anymore, so I kind of feel like I don't want to take it for granted. I just want to take a quick break from the video to talk about today's sponsor, which is Aura. Y'all, I had no idea how much of my personal information was out there on the internet, how many data brokers, spammers, robocallers had my information, like my phone number, where I live, which is so scary. Having your information out there on the internet available to bad people who want to do who knows what is so scary. So thank goodness for Aura. They basically help you protect your identity and your personal information. They identify data brokers who are selling your information. Basically what Aura does is submit opt-out requests on your behalf, and legally data brokers are required to remove your information. Thankfully, Aura is offering y'all a 2-week free trial when you sign up and use Destiny and Mitch. We'll link it in the description as well. Aura does so much more than just request to remove your information from data brokers who are making money off of you, but they also help protect your identity. I was so shook that so many of my passwords for websites have been compromised, leaked in data breaches, and it's just so crazy. So I'm so thankful for Aura. Y'all can download the Aura app or go to their website. It's super easy to set up. Y'all should definitely check them out and let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so that you can have peace of mind that your information and your identity is safe. So thank you again, Aura, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the video.
Another thing I miss about Texas is being able to just drive fast everywhere. You know, everything's off of the highway. Whereas here we live in a suburb again. Well, we lived in a suburb there too, but we live in a suburb, and you know, everything is off main streets and, you know, central Aves and stuff like that. And you know, we really don't have to go on a highway for anything, really.
Yeah, really
everything
at all.
is in our radius without using a highway. Whereas in Texas, you like lived off highways, and everything was like either a frontage road or, you know, and obviously not everywhere, but
most places.
Most places we lived, everything was off the highway. And if we wanted to get anywhere, it was like, all right, you know, 30 miles down the highway, you get there in 20 minutes, you know. And so I missed going fast, but I also missed going slow too. So I actually have been enjoying the coasting.
Yeah, the more laid back driving. Right. The only time we really get on the highway is if we're going like on a hike in the mountains or something, then we'll jump on the highway. But even then, like, we still do like walks, like nature walks and hikes and stuff, like where we live, and we don't have to go too far. Yeah. But that is one thing that I do miss about Texas as well, just being able to jump on the tollway, expressway, whatever, and going just like 90, 100. But like you said, it's also nice to just like be able to slow down and coast. And I don't feel like people here drive too crazily.
Nope, not like Texas. Yep. And it's different than Minnesota too, because you had like, you didn't go on the highway as much there either, and it's not as fast. But here you get like 3 lanes across where you can drive in. Minnesota, you only get 2 at most. And you know, so you just have a lot of space. It's really just laid back. So I've been enjoying that. Yeah. Yeah. And if you do get on the highway, you can go pretty fast here too. So it's just, I don't know, there's this constant speed. I always thought my life was like hanging on a thread in Texas.
That's so true. Every time you went out in Texas, you're like, okay, gotta be very like
alert.
Yeah, alert, exactly. Another thing that I really miss about Texas, and I mean, we've only been in Arizona for 2 months, so maybe I just have to do some more research, but I feel like I'm the type to do a lot of research about restaurants, and I miss the options for restaurants that were in Texas. We still have some pretty good restaurants here. It's definitely better than Minnesota. It's definitely better than Colorado, but Texas for me takes the cake on like variety. But we had 2 restaurants in Texas for like Mexican and Spanish food that we really like, which was Mexican Sugar and Gloria's, and they don't have that here, and I cannot find like a good Mexican restaurant. I know this is like such a little thing, but it is those little things that you don't realize that you're gonna miss, and Mexican food is one of them. We actually have had some good tacos here, but like a sit down nice restaurant like Gloria's or Mexican Sugar, haven't found that yet. Or if they do have it, it's probably like closer to the cities, which we haven't done much.
That was my last one, the Mexican food.
Oh really?
Yep.
So we both have that shared.
Yep. I know it's down here, we just have to find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was just so many options. It was like I was starting to eat Mexican food every night, it seemed like, for a time there. So definitely miss that. It's just different types of foods here.
Yeah.
And we just have to find it though.
Yeah,
so
we
I'm
have
sure
to
it's
find
here.
it. Also, we're gonna do a whole nother video of kind of like things to know before moving to Arizona, or how to move across the country, or things we didn't expect moving to Arizona kind of thing. That'll be like after the summer. We want to go through the summer and see how hot the summer is. We know it's gonna be hot, but we want to kind of live here a little longer before we make that video. But something that was interesting that we've been experiencing is dust storms. I've never experienced a dust storm before. Did you experience those when you ever visited here without me?
I think like once or twice.
Once or twice?
Yeah.
Those are scary. Just seeing it come in is kind of scary. And then another thing is fires, because those burn for a long time. There was a fire that we could see from our apartment, and it had gone for like, has it been like a week already that it's been burning? But it's so scary. It's just like tons of black smoke, and like it fills the air, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, and we remember seeing that when we visited here, you know, a couple of times. Just fires in the distance, and everything, you know, you can see pretty far in the distance, so you can just see it, you know, burning.
Yeah, so crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, that's been interesting. Another thing that's been interesting is that people, it's not just like a euphoria thing after moving here. People are generally very nice here. It's crazy. In Texas, it felt like you just didn't talk to other people. Here, we'll get in an elevator and people will say, "Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Have a nice day."
Have a nice day. You walk by people on the street and it's like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, have a good one." And it's like, whoa.
I know. We were really taken aback by that, because that was not our experience very much in Texas. But I also feel like those weren't like people that were actually Texans, like native Texans. Those were like transplants like us.
Right.
And so maybe that's where that came in. But I also feel like there's a lot of transplants here in Arizona, because when we talk to people, they say that, you know, there's a lot more transplants here than usual. And actually, we've seen so many Minnesota plates here in Arizona because there's snowbirds, and I was really surprised by that. I was really shocked to see so many Minnesota plates.
It just feels like it's specifically Minnesota. I don't see Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, they're Midwest
Iowa
states.
Yeah, I don't see Missouri. I don't see the Dakotas. I see Minnesota.
So that's interesting. I wonder why that is. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I actually did see one Iowa plate at
Iowa?
Yeah.
But it's just we see so many Minnesota plates that it's like that, Texas, and California, and Arizona. Yeah.
And like Utah.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen many Colorado plates. I feel like I would have seen a lot. Or I feel like Coloradans would love to like come here during the cold months. That's because they're just so close together.
See, I think Colorado, the winters aren't horrible. So
yeah, I guess that's true.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that's
snowboarding.
True.
You know, they love that stuff. So
no, that's totally true.
Another thing that, you know, we enjoy, and we've already kind of touched on this, but just kind of like a slower life again. In Texas, it was like as soon as you got out the door, it just seemed
I know, go. Even like sitting at home, you felt like, oh my god, the world out there is just like
going
nonstop.
And it's not that I like that because we also have that kind of here.
Yeah.
But it's just not as quick.
Yeah, it's
And
more tamed,
yeah.
for sure.
I know when I'm going out of our apartment, we're going 30, 40 miles an hour, you know, not 50, 60, 70.
Right.
And, you know, just slower. Everything is like right next to us. We don't have to drive too far for anything.
Yeah.
And that's how I grew up, and that's what I enjoy. Is just bringing back a little comfort. You know.
I know it is for
Yeah.
you. I really like it too, though, because I grew up that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, Minnesota's so small and everything's so close together, and
Yep.
yeah, it just kind of feels like that again, but like better.
Yeah, with palm trees and mountains.
Yeah, it feels like you're on vacation every day too.
Right.
And that may be good, that may not be good, but I feel like it forces you to like enjoy life. I
Right.
don't know.
Well, you know, this just ties back to everything about what we've done because we have escaped our comfort zone and got out of the box a little bit by moving to Texas because we went from slow pace, slow life Minnesota to fast paced, you know, Dallas area. And, you know, we got out of our box and we pushed ourselves to be maybe a little bit uncomfortable for those years. You know, we
Yeah.
liked Texas and we enjoyed it, and I would absolutely move there again, maybe someday in the future. And I would encourage everyone else to move there who want to, you know, and it's been just like kind of a great experience doing that. But maybe we were just like outside of our box a little bit and we never really made it our box there. And you know, I don't take that away for anything, though. That was a great experience. But now I think it's okay to step back into a zone where it's definitely different than where we were. It's different than where we went first time. But it's more in the middle. And I feel like we can make it our comfort zone here again. And it's already it kind of feels that way already. And so, you know, I'm kind of just proud of us that we first took that step out, so that we can get somewhere to where we actually can, you know, grow that box again.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we talk a lot about things we like about this place, like about that place. It's really just fun getting to know each place and experiencing it. And you can't know it until you experience it. You know, that was the thing. We took vacations to Texas.
Yeah.
And when we moved
It was
there,
completely
way
different. Yeah.
And we took vacations to Arizona, and moving here is just different. Especially because the Airbnbs are different where you stay to where you're going to live.
Yeah. But I feel like Arizona for me is less different
Yeah.
from when we visited compared to Texas when
That's
we
what I was
lived and
thinking, too.
visited. Like as soon as we touched foot in Arizona, I was like, I'm home. Like I feel home. Like I'm at peace. Like
That is how Texas felt, though. Every time we came back from Arizona, like it sucked leaving it.
Yeah.
So I still felt a little homey in Arizona.
Yeah.
But man, once even in East Texas, we didn't even get toward our home yet. We still have 6 hours to go. And
West Texas.
West Texas,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. As soon as you cross that border, you're like,
Yeah, you can just breathe. Overall, I feel much more comfortable here living in Arizona, which is why at this point in time, I don't foresee myself having a desire to move back to Texas soon.
no, I'm saying in our
Like,
older years,
retirement
maybe.
years, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I could see ourselves raising a family here, and I just love it here so much.
Yeah,
I really do.
yeah,
We'll see if that changes after the summer.
yeah.
No, I won't.
But you got to get out to experience it, and that's all I was saying. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, if you're thinking about moving someplace, just go. You know,
Yeah.
because I didn't feel comfortable in Minnesota anymore. That is just feeling confining. You
Yeah,
know?
very confining.
Yeah. So I feel more comfortable here than I have anywhere, and I said that on vacation, where
Yeah.
I was like, I just feel right in Arizona.
Yeah.
Something about me is aligned.
Something about it feels right. And yeah, I definitely feel so aligned like with my true identity, I guess. Obviously I'm still finding myself, but like just how I feel inside, I feel so aligned with who that is living in Arizona. I just always imagine myself as like a West Coast girl, and I'm not sure why we moved to Texas when I felt that way, but
we had to get out.
Yeah, you had to get out there and experience it, and yeah, it led us here, which I'm so grateful we got to do this like before we had kids and while we were young. I feel like not many people, you know, leave their hometown or get to experience living somewhere different. So I'm so glad with where we are and how far we've come.
Another thing that we like about Arizona compared to Texas, and I wouldn't think this, but it's true. It seems like we're going to have more chances to have people come visit here than we did living in Texas.
Yeah.
I thought people visited Texas all the time.
Yeah, for like
Apparently
a vacation thing. Maybe that was just us and we were lame losers.
Right. Because the only time someone did from like my sphere was when my buddy came down and I invited him down. He didn't just come. Like I said, hey, you want to go to a UFC event with me?
Yeah.
And he's like, of course. And so he flew down. And that was like the only time.
That was the only time.
Right.
Well, your parents came and visited us.
Right, but
once.
again, like it wasn't just like an off thing. Like we already got to see people from both sides of our family who just came here. We didn't invite them. They just were here.
Yep.
And so that's in 2 months. And I know it probably won't happen again for a little bit, but it's already happened. And so maybe there's more of a chance of like other people, like friends who we haven't heard from in a while, be like, oh, you're here, like, you know, hit me up.
Because I already have a friend who's set to visit here in January, so it's just like this is where people come, I guess. It's like the vacation spot, and I mean that makes sense.
I don't know if this is legit, but it has to be one of the biggest vacation spots. Domestically in the U.S.
I feel like it is. I feel like it is. Lots of national parks.
Yeah.
You got the infamous Scottsdale, Grand Canyon. So I definitely feel like this is, you know, a hub for vacationers. But I think that is most of the things that we thought of that we miss about Texas, but also love about Arizona. We are just loving it here. I love it here so much. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, yes. I'm happy. I look out the window, I see the mountains and the palm trees, and it's just lovely. Sorry, I was looking at that helicopter. It's just lovely.
And I guess
you got one more thing.
I got one more thing before
go
we go.
for it.
Because in Texas, we always picked a spot that had like a nice view, nice lookout, nature in the back. You know, maybe like a stream or something. We've had 2 with a stream. And we don't get that here, so I also miss that. However, you still get like cool nature scenes, so it's just different.
Are you kidding me? I prefer this.
No, I think I prefer it too, but I also miss just like that close quarter like stream. You know, you get. I took this one video of like literally 5 eagles just doing circles, and in Texas, and it's just that was just cool to see.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I mean, I miss that too, but I wouldn't trade it for the view that we have right now. It's
great,
magical.
Right.
No, magical.
I agree. But I just had to get that last one off my chest.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's the video, guys. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and check you later.
Guys, check you later. Don't forget to check out Aura, and we will see you guys in our next video.
Peace.
Bye.